and we'll paint it blood and green and all kinds of fun stuff.
Basically, this child, I'm tactily defensive. I don't want anyone touching me, and so he's diverted the attention.
Ours is to focus the daydreamer who's looking out the window and just kind of staring off into oblivion. And we realized that there's a couple different things that maybe can help change that. And one is a physical thing. If you notice the student doing that a lot, move them away from the window, close the window, simple things like that. And also monitor what activities they're doing. Maybe if it's a slow activity, it needs to be changed up to where it's really active.
Right. And then the other thing is we want to change the mindset of the child. So by changing it to an activity is one way of doing that, or giving the child a peer tutor allows them to have a connection to the lesson that they might not be able to give to themselves. Sometimes they give fidgets to students who don't pay attention, but you can give a fidget to a student who isn't paying attention to give them more activity. And then also we decided that we might reward them for sustained attention. Come back to the lesson, and we're going to set this timer. If, at the end of 5 minutes, if your attention is still on the lesson, you're going to get an award appropriate for the child, whatever the child is interested in. Art said, keep child working who wants to talk, and not do the work. So we're going to do a little skit.
Could you see CSI last night? It was on 2 nights in a row.
Meredith, we really need to work on this division problem.
Division? My aunt lived on Division Street. In Delaware?
You know what, Meredith? You have a lot of very interesting things to say, and I'm very interested in hearing, but we need to get through this. Let's try it again. We're going to try, we're first going to divide, and then we multiply, and then we subtract, and then we're going to bring down. That's going to be the sequence that we follow.
But can I ask a question? When does summer vacation begin?
Meredith, can we hold this up? This is what we're going to do. We have a lot of work to get through, so I'm going to break it up into 3 different sections. And at the end of each section, we're going to have a break where you can tell me all these very wonderful things. And in between each section, I'm going to give you talking cards. You're going to have 3 talking cards. And every time you feel like you need to say something, you're going to have to give me one of your talking cards. And when you're done, when you've used up all your talking cards, you're going to have to wait till the break.
Well, our task was to focus a child who hums, who is not conscious of his or her humming, and that it can annoy and upset other people. And in this case, Susan's not confrontational, she's just unaware. So, Susan, I'd like you to read the newspaper here and see what the main topics are. Oh, Susan, one thing, are you aware that you're humming? You're not? Oh, well, look, Susan, you're humming, and that's great. You can hum all you want to, but not when you're in class, because there's other people that hear it, and then they get distracted. I'll tell you what, Susan, why don't you hold your hand right here on there. Go ahead and read, and I think when you start humming, you'll probably feel it in your hand. Susan, you're still humming. Can you feel that in your hand? Well, I'll tell you what, Susan, we're going to do something else. I can feel it too, so I'm going to put my hand back here, and when you start humming, I'm just going to put a little pressure so we don't disturb other people, because see, they get disturbed too when I keep talking. So go ahead and read the newspaper.
Sally, we had to deal with a child who locks herself in the bathroom when she does not want to go to class. We decided that first we would go into the bathroom and see if the child's okay, just verbally ask them. If you can get in, well, right, or ask through the door. And try and find out if there's a problem, just ask if they're okay. And if you can find out that they're okay, just give them time to cool down, because there's no point in dealing with an irrational child. And then try and use humor. Maybe try and use something that the child's interested in. Maybe tell them that in class, I really don't want you to miss, we're going to be studying dinosaurs, or something that they're interested in. Also, we had talked about maybe building some sort of a choice into the child's program, that after, once you come into class and you get what we need to get done, maybe you could choose an activity for the rest of the class to do. So give them some sense of control.
Amanda?
All right, we're going to talk about the child who thinks they know everything and how we deal with that in class when you're trying to instruct all the children on a certain topic. So we're going to talk about teaching about the ocean. And Amanda's my student. So Amanda, we're going to talk about the ocean today. and learning all about what's in it, what animals might be in it, what might be found on the floor of the ocean.
Goody. I know everything about the ocean.
You do? What do you know the most about?
There's sand on the floor.
Really? Really?
Yeah.
Well, do you think you'd like to teach about that?
Yeah, I can teach it. You
Okay.
don't have to teach it.
Okay, well, here's some materials that you can use to go teach and study, and then when you come back, you teach everyone about it, and I'll teach everyone else the things that we're going to look at, and then you'll be the teacher for the ocean floor part.
So I have to do the whole
Yeah.
part.
Would you like to, since you know so much about it?
Okay.
Okay. Do you want a partner to go with you?
Yeah, just so I can,
Have some
show them
teach
how much
them
I
how
know.
to- Okay, that'd be great.
Okay.
Why don't we have a partner go with you, then in a few minutes you guys can come back and tell us what you studied.
Okay.
Okay. Just to divert their attention, instead of making it a power struggle, instead of making it something that they want to take over the class, I could give them a little segment to teach, and then I could teach the rest of the things that I had on my agenda, and not have to have a power struggle with the students. I don't care. I don't care if I fail. I don't care if I don't graduate from school.
You know what I know? I know that this is your senior year, and I know you're a little worried about what's happening this year and where you're going to be going next year. So I would like to help you figure that out, and I would like to take a little bit of the anxiety away from the unknown, like what's going to happen next year, by setting up a meeting with you every day so that we can spend a little bit of time talking about the colleges you're looking at, the applications that you're filling out, and the essays that you have to write. So if you and I can do that every day, just a little bit, spend a little bit of time, maybe every morning, I think you'll feel a little bit better about what's happening next year, and I don't think you're going to worry so much about graduating, because you're going to graduate. I think fear of transition is always really, really hard for our students, and lots of times they say things because they're afraid of the unknown. And I think helping them by getting something very concrete going begins to alleviate that fear and gives them then the words to say, well, it's not that I'm really worried about not graduating, I'm worried about the work next year, or where I'm going to go next year. So I'm trying to take her into that from the, I don't know what I'm afraid about, helping her identify what it is, and then giving her some tools to then proceed.
But you're also going on the assumption that when kids say, I don't care, that they really do care, but this is the best way to get rid of you. Because I don't care means I don't have to try. And I don't have to try means I don't have to fail.
And the other piece that's really important too is that they can get you to give up on them, they can get to give up on themselves. And we don't give up on them, and we don't allow them to give up on themselves either. So that's the part of, that's how I would engage Debbie in terms of the conversation.